I'd pay for that, Schiano.
Greg, how have your, I don't know if new role is not the right word, but kind of the roamer instead of just concentrating on one position, how has that kind of freed you up, and what do you see and you weren't seeing?
Well, you know, with the addition of our 10th coach, it allows me to do that, and I can kind of fill in where they need a little help. So if take one of the linebackers does a different job than the other two, I can help there, or I can help with, you know, whatever position is needed. So I'm kind of, like you said, the roamer, but it allows me to have a better understanding of where our guys are, comfort level with things, different techniques, and I think hopefully, you know, it should have an effect on how you call it, because if you know guys aren't real comfortable with the technique, you wait until they get comfortable. Now, not that you couldn't do that before, but when you actually see it with your own eyes, sometimes it helps.
Does that mean you're floating around from day to day and working with different guys every day, Greg? Or how does
It's not floating. Kind of sounds like you just walk around. Like I detail the practice schedule. I'm going to help coach, you know, Davis during the first half of this period, and I'm going to go down and help Coach Tabor Johnson, and then maybe go with Coach Grinch for something. And if Coach Johnson, I'll take the ends and do some stuff with them. So wherever needed, kind of is, you know, I'm kind of like the spare.
You like that, you know, ability to move around?
I do. I like to be able to see everything. And the other thing that it allows me to do, you know, there's always repercussions that you don't see. So I get to jump around from meeting room to meeting room. And because before we do all this, we meet, you know, for a good amount of time on every detail. So I'll get to jump around, and I can grab kids individually that, you know, maybe need to equate the meeting room a little bit, where I can grab a guy who's a little behind and not burden the position coach with it. So there's a lot of positives to it, which I think, you know, is a lot of good reasons to have a 10th assistant coach, safety being the first, but it kind of evens it. Usually there's 5 on offense and 4 on D, so now there's 5 and 5, and that's a good thing.
What have you seen that you like so far, 7 practices in?
I think our guys are playing hard, and they're giving us everything they have. We're making a ton of mistakes, but I would expect us to make a ton of mistakes now. Especially in the springtime, there's guys that haven't played a lot, get a lot of reps. And then the other thing is, you go a day, you're off a day. You know, when you're in the season and you go day after day in training camp, and then you get into a routine, there's a lot going on for these kids outside of football, you know, with academics and things. So, but that's no excuse. We have to keep, you know, demanding a certain level of execution. But more important than anything is they learn to play hard, and they learn to play together. If we can come out of spring with that, we'll make sure it's all cleaned up when we get to camp.
Greg, what you're doing